and on the collective views of his 800 small agent members on the supplier industry. So, Iain McKenzie.
Great. So they are suppliers, they're suppliers of hassle. Right, let's see if it works. PropTech, please rewrite a speech that's already been covered by the first two people. Right, I'll give it a go. So, 5th of April 1987, Gerald Probert said to me, estate agency is 99% people and 1% houses. And despite fax machines, and despite electronic typewriters, and despite now PropTech and all of the modern conveniences that we have, I still believe that to be true. I still believe it to be 99% people and 1% houses. And so the collaboration between agents and you guys should have them at the heart of the principle in terms of delivery. So I have got some thoughts just that I will share with you, and I'll keep them sharp in comparison to the other two. Joke. Christian, you were fantastic, by the way. So you guys already worked out you're not listening. Well, thank God, because my speech is crap. You've already worked out that you need to understand the agent's needs, and the agent's needs are very different throughout the UK. One thing I'll ask you to consider, please, is that there are huge regional variances. It isn't just London-centric. So think about the average age of the first-time buyer in Newcastle, where the earnings in relationship to the average house price of 120 is very different to the relationship on the south coast. So it's more letting-centric on the south and the southeast, and more sales-centric in the north. So please think about that. Think about the average fee and the income that those agents actually have in terms of the cost of acquisition of your services. So cost is a huge problem. We know that you're creating solutions for problems that don't exist, so thank you for that. That's really good. What is the real cost of integration? So integration isn't just the product itself, it's actually the impact of that integration in terms of lost time, lost man hours, sometimes turnover of staff, because some people in the team are not able to cope with the upgrade of technology, so that's really interesting. And one of the things I would implore you to do is train your way to success. One of the things that we're doing at the Guild, because we have similar platforms, is we are training until people get fed up with us. Because the reality is that if you think you've gone into one of the businesses and trained, the intellectual property will have moved on. So as the workforce change, you then have to go back. So if training is part of your implementation plan, then well done. That's really good. Data share, huge frustration that agents out there are paying a huge marketing budget to certain organisations, obtaining data, giving it to suppliers, and then the supplier owns it. Doesn't really sound that fair, does it? But there's a huge frustration, and this is the point that Charlie's making, is if the agent's paid for the data, why couldn't it be ready available in a universal API that can be shared? That's quite an interesting point. All PropTech companies seem to be trying to evoke a customer-led revolution, in my opinion. It's always the best thing, the customers need it, but they're not actually listening to the agent and what is going to be an agent-led revolution. So I'll finish with one last word, if I may, which is vision is not knowing when to get onto the ark, it's when to start building it. And one of the things I would say is that we've got to also engage, so let's build a platform that works for agents, but let's also think about other stakeholders in the process, solicitors, conveyancers, surveyors, etc. So if we want to actually really revolutionise this business, let's think about it in a broader sense. Thank you very much.